All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the 2024 Landlord Symposium. Up next, we'll have our inspectors from the various housing authorities to talk a little bit about inspections. We have from King County Housing Authority, we have Jennifer Huber-DeChon. She's the inspections manager over there. And then we also have Mandy Randev. He's the lead inspections coordinator. And from excuse me. And we have, with special inspections, we have Sam Nam from Tacoma Housing Authority. And from uh, Pierce County Housing Authority, we have Crystal Vonatsky. And from Seattle Housing Authority, we will have Matthew McMillan touching base with us with Inspire. And I'll hand it over to them.
Good morning, or I guess we're at afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome back from lunch, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jennifer Huber-DeChon here with King County Housing Authority, and Mandy and I are just going to go over those HQS inspection requirements for the housing quality standards. On our side, King County Housing Authority has chosen not to move forward the Inspire inspection standards like some of the other agencies, and you'll hear about those later. So we are going to just go through our slide presentation here for HQS. The goal of the Housing Choice Voucher Program is to provide the decent, safe, and sanitary housing at an affordable cost to the low-income families. The units participating in this program must meet the minimum criteria established by HUD for the healthy, safe, and program participants. And for us here, we have the different type of inspections. We have the initial inspections when they're moving into the program. We're doing those HQS inspections on those units. Usually they're empty. We do our annual or biannual inspections of those occupied units once they've been placed on the program within that time frame, usually of 18 to 20 months. And then we can do special inspections, complaints, damage or move out inspections when they're excessive damage to a unit upon the clients moving out. The HQS checklist categories are listed here. Our general room standards, electricity, security, ceiling, floors, smoke detectors, windows, walls, carbon monoxide detectors. This is where we'd also do lead paint on interior as well as lead paint evaluations on the exterior. Building exteriors, we're looking at foundation, stairs, exterior surfaces, again, lead paint issues, rails, porches, roofs, tie downs if applicable on mobile homes, chimneys, heating and plumbing. We're looking at the adequacy of the heating system that's in the home, water heaters, how they're hooked up, pressure relief valves and discharge lines, plumbing and sewer connections, and the water supply for the house. General health and safety. Again, we're looking at accessibility to the unit, garbage and debris, elevators if that's applicable, air quality, interior and exterior hazards, infestation, garbage disposal, interior stairs and common hallways on some of those high-rise type buildings, site and neighborhood conditions, and again, possibly lead paint. And this is the HQS checklist. You can find this on the King County Housing Authority website. It's a 2-page checklist that we provide. You can find it on the website. We include this with our inspection document, our inspection letters when we're sending out letters to landlords, notifying them of the inspection. Both the tenant and a landlord receives a copy of our letters. We include this in it. And this is also emailed to landlords as an attachment on the RFTA, which is our move-in process. They get a copy of this, kind of giving those items that we're going to be checking and looking at the inspection.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. I'll take over from this slide onwards. So this slide's about the important reminder. And this applies to all the housing authorities, including King, Tacoma, Pierce, and Seattle. As of December 29, 2024, all smoke detectors which are solely battery operated will have to have sealed tamper-proof batteries. Either a hardwire smoke detector which is interconnected if required by the year of construction, or sealed 10-year batteries and smoke alarms. So as Jennifer mentioned earlier, King County Housing Authority will transition to Inspire standard effective late 2025. So we are still under the HQS right now, and we plan to move forward a little later next year. So talking more about the smoke detectors and CO detectors, at least a minimum there are working smoke detector and carbon monoxide detectors on each level of the unit. Additional requirements are based on year built for interconnectivity and bedroom installation requirements. Check with your local fire and building official if you have any concerns on placement of the location of the SD or COs. There is at least one exterior window in each bedroom and in living room. Smoke detectors are installed on the walls at least 4 inches and not more than 12 inches from the ceiling. Smoke detectors installed on ceiling are at least 4 inches from the wall. If the unit is occupied by a hearing impaired household member, a hearing impaired smoke detector is installed in bedroom occupied by the individual and connected to the hall smoke detector. Please note again, with the Inspire, a smoke detector will be required in each bedroom. So that's kind of the new requirement once we move to Inspire. So the next slide, we are talking about the mother-in-law or ADU units. These standards may vary per city jurisdiction, must provide documentation of legal status from the whichever city or area you're in. Separation of utility may impact suitability of the unit. So this only applies to these two. Next slide, we are talking about the lead paint based paint regulation. As you guys may be aware that this applies to the unit which are built prior to 1978 and have a child or a member under the age of 6. So the first category is the defective paint. A home built prior to 78 and occupied by a child under the age of 6 must have no chipping, peeling, cracking paint on the inside as well as outside of the unit. This includes exterior walls, stair, porches, railing, windows, doors, fences, common areas, and play areas as well. The landlord is required to comply with federal lead paint disclosure rules regarding distribution of the pamphlet, which is protect your family from lead in the home, and provide proof of notification regarding any hazard reduction treatment or paint evaluations to the tenant. The inspector will look for any signs of deteriorated paint, such as the peeling, chipping, chalking, cracking, or any paint or coating that is separating from the surface. How to prepare for inspection? That's a great question. We get quite a bit. So 4 things: perform inspection of your own. So do a pre-inspection. Review list of the common fail items, which is again on a website, and typically you could call our office or get any information from the website or contact the inspection department. Third is make repairs in advance. So based on the list or anything visual you see, you can make the repairs in advance to get prepared. And the fourth is work with the tenants on lease violations. So pretty straightforward on this. King County Housing Authority, complaint inspections. So if you have concerns about tenant maintenance of unit and premises, serve a 30-day compliance notice to correct the issues and provide a copy to KCH. If there's no compliance and the items are HQS defects, you may request a complaint inspection after a compliance notice has been sent and the time frame to compliance has passed. You can determine if you want to proceed with additional legal action or eviction or charge the tenant for repairs. An assigned inspector will coordinate an inspection and will send notices if the items are tenant HQS violations and repairs are not completed. The participant may face possible termination after a last chance notice is sent by the inspector. To file a complaint, fill out a special inspection request form, which is on our website. You may also call a complaint line at 206-214-1308, and that's for the KCH. Moving to the vacate inspections. KCH is not responsible for tenant cost damages. If a tenant cost excessive or malicious damages, you may request a vacate inspection. So the important part here is a vacate inspection can determine whether the tenant may continue to participate in the voucher program. Vacate inspection should not be used as a mitigation between the landlord and the tenant. Once the vacate inspection is completed, the extent of the damages will be reviewed by the inspector, manager, and housing specialist to determine if the tenant participation in the voucher program should be terminated. If damages are not excessive, you should follow the landlord-tenant process for distribution and notification of deposit use. Notification must be sent to the tenant's last known address within 21 days of the tenant vacating. The state of Washington offers some assistance to landlord through the landlord mitigation program, what we talked earlier today. Tenants should walk through the property with their move-in report or checklist and take pictures if needed. If a deposit is paid, a checklist is required. So I'll pass it over to Pierce County.
Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal Vonatensky. I partner with the inspection department here at the Pierce County Housing Authority, and I also work special projects and landlord engagement. So I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk about Pierce County Housing Authority's complaint inspection process and procedures, and then also talk about some important things that's maybe PCHA specific to our landlords as far as ensuring that you're receiving your payments in a timely fashion. So first and foremost, tenants or landlords can request a complaint inspection. What that would entail is to make sure that you are putting it in writing to our team. So that's going to be forwarded over to our lead inspector, which is Jonathan Messer. At that point, what would happen, whether it's tenant initiated or landlord initiated, is we're going to make sure that it would fall under the criteria of being an HQS deficiency. That's really important because the tenant is the one that's entering into a lease with the landlord. So we're not lease enforcement. What we're simply looking for is to ensure per regulations that the unit is up to HQS standard. So to give an example of that, let's say you as the landlord find out that the tenant does not have power to their unit. That would be a 24-hour fail where we would need to be notified of that immediately. What would happen in that case is Jonathan Messer, which is our lead inspector, he would come out, he would check, he would ensure that there's no power, and then that would be a tenant compliance 24 hours for them to fix it. Should the tenant not fix within 24 hours, we would move to termination. The same similar situations go when the tenant is requesting a complaint inspection. So when they request a complaint inspection, again, we're not lease enforcement and we're not trying to kind of get in all the weeds as far as tenant and landlord concerns. What we're looking for is that, again, the unit is going to meet HQS standards. So if the tenant was to call us and say, there was some issues and the landlord hadn't resolved those. So again, that would be forwarded to John Messer. He would look at it and make sure that was related to an HQS deficiency. If it's not, we would encourage the tenant to again reach out to the landlord to have those things fixed. Now, also, if it is an HQS deficiency, what's going to happen is Jonathan will ask the tenant for documentation to ensure that they have followed the necessary steps to try to take care of that with the landlord. And when necessary, we can get involved again as it pertains to HQS deficiencies. Just a couple other points I want to call out because I know it's super important for our landlords to ensure that they're receiving their HAP payments on time. And I want to make sure I give you everything that you're going to need to ensure that we're not holding payment. So abatements. What happens if a unit does not pass HQS inspection and it's landlord deficiencies? The unit would go into abatement. Abatement means we're going to withhold payment, and federal regulations require that we cannot pay HAP during that abated time. The thing that might be case specific to Pierce County Housing Authority is that we don't come out for inspections out. We don't do re-inspections for 30-day fails. So if it's a 24-hour life-threatening fail, we will come out 24 hours later. If it's a regular 30-day fail, we will not be coming back out. I know there's been some concerns, I should say, and I've spoken to a lot of landlords who thought that we would be coming out. That is not the case with Pierce County Housing Authority. We do not come out unless it's a life-threatening issue, a 24-hour fail. So in order to ensure that the unit is not going into abatement, once any repairs have been made, it's very important that you take pictures of all the repaired items and also send back the self-certification form. We have a specific self-certification form that's the landlord saying that I have completed these repairs and the tenant signing off saying they have been repaired. Again, we need that self-certification form coupled with the photos of each failed item that is present on the fail letter that's sent out by the inspector. Once we receive both of those things back, we will take the unit out of fail status and we will continue to pay on the unit. Be mindful that abatements, if it's a 30-day fail, let's say the unit failed today, the unit would go into abatement November 1st if we didn't receive that documentation. Again, just be mindful, federal regulations require that it is in abatement if it's not fixed the first of the month following that 30 days. So just please make sure to get those into us. If you have any questions, ensure to read those fail letters. I know it can be a lot of information, but I just want to make sure that landlords are receiving their HAP payments in a quick and efficient time. So before I pass it over, I just want to thank you all so much for being here today. We know it's a lot of time out of your day and we appreciate what you do for our clients every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. I think we met some time ago with doing inspection in the same building.
Yeah. You did.
Anyway, my name's Sam Nam. I'm the lead inspector for Tacoma Housing Authority. And my job today is to, I think, to explain how we do our special inspection. So when do we do a special inspection? So special inspection, typically almost the same with every other housing authority. The inspection is based on the complaint from the landlord and clients, and sometimes from the neighbors. So when we receive a complaint, we don't just go out and do inspection. We make sure that we verify that the tenants gave the owner and opportunities to abate the problems, or if they ever give them any written notice and things like that. So we contact both landlords and tenants to verify those. And then if the complaint is valid, and then we schedule inspections. So the special inspection, we will determine whether it's tenant responsibility, owner responsibility, whichever the deficiency found during the inspection, we try our best to determine the responsible party. So after we assess if the unit fail, if the owner responsibility, we will ask the owner to abate the problems by sending notices. We allow time, if it's not an emergency or if not life-threatening, we do give them time between 20 to 30 days. If the owner doesn't comply, we will abate the payments. And the same thing as the clients. If the client does not comply, if there is the damage that tenant responsible for, we will terminate the contract or have payments. So if there is a 24-hour fail items, we would contact the landlord or tenants, and we will schedule inspections within the same day or the next day. So the complaint inspection, the special inspections, we have several inspectors that we sent to the property if I am not available. So that basically it for the special inspections. Thank you. And I would forward it to Seattle Housing Authority.